Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, peace be with you, and welcome to the topic of the awareness of the prayer. We asked on the previous episode this question: why decorating the mosque is hated in Islam? And the answer was that it distracts the Muslim in his prayer. Also, it is not preferable for the Muslim to come to the prayer while he is hungry. The Prophet said, "La salata bihadrati ta'am." There is no prayer that should be performed while you are, coming to the table in order to take your food. No, the prayer should be postponed. The prayer should be delayed. If there is a congregation in the mosque, while you started to take your food, don't rush. Take some of the food, take some bites, okay, in order to so you don't feel hunger anymore. Then you go to the mosque. The prayer with awareness is the asylum of the sinners. What do I mean by that? Yes, there's a great chance for the sin you have committed to be forgiven if you performed a good kind of prayer. Let's see what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, there is no Muslim individual upon whom a prayer, an obligatory prayer, he has to perform, then he improve its wudu, ablution, its khushu', awareness, its ruku', prostrating, but it will be the expiation of the sin that have been committed before it. Unless a major sin have been committed. And that is the whole life. So there's a big chance in your prayer to achieve forgiveness if your prayer was approved. There's another hadith. Abu Darda said, "من فقه المرء المسلم." من فقه المرء, يعني a part of the good understanding in religion with any person is that he responds the call of nature before he goes to the prayer. What is the purpose? What is the reason? So he will be having a ready, empty, I don't mean empty, empty means ready heart in his prayer. Because if a person is, pushed or pressed, or he needs to go, to respond the call of the nature, but he doesn't respond, he responds to the prayer while, he is pressed, then as a result, the heart will not be focusing. So this is what Abu Darda said, which is a very important statement that he had given. So also the Prophet ﷺ said, there is no man who committed a sin, then he stands up, taking ablution and performing prayer, then seeking Allah's forgiveness, but he will be granted forgiveness. That's beautiful. So this prayer is a cause of forgiveness, and this prayer will be growing iman, the faith in your heart. Time by time, prayer after prayer, time by time. That will help much in maintaining your iman. It is, in a matter of fact, one of the factors to be strengthened. To be strengthened. We need to be strengthened in our faith. How? A good prayer is a guarantee. A good prayer performed is one of the factors of forgiveness, and to have a steady faith in your heart. Then the Prophet ﷺ recited this verse: وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا فَعَلُوا فَاحِشَةً. And as for those who have performed, committed a sin, a great sin, a big sin, أَوْ ظَلَمُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ, or they wronged themselves, ذَكَرُوا اللَّهِ, they remembered Allah, they mentioned Allah. فَاسْتَغْفَرُوا لِذُنُوبِهِمْ, then they sought forgiveness for their sins. وَمَنْ يَغْفِرُ الذُّنُوبَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ, and whoever forgives sins except Allah. وَلَمْ يُصِرُّوا عَلَى مَا فَعَلُوا, they did not persist the evil thing that they have done. وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ, and knowingly that they have done it wrong. أُولَٰئِكَ جَزَاؤُهُمْ مَغْفِرَةٌ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ, for those is a forgiveness from their Lord. وَجَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي مِن تَحْتِهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا وَنِعْمَ أَجْرُ الْعَامِلِينَ, rivers, paradise, gardens, in which or by which rivers flow underneath, and they dwell therein permanently, and that is the best reward for doing the best. As a matter of fact, a prayer without khushu' does not really help a person to achieve what he wants. The Prophet reminded us or urged us to remember our death in our prayer. Well, one may ask this question: that may distract me in my prayer. I say no. I tried it myself. If you want to try it yourself, try it. It does not distract you, because once you remember that you'll be lifted up by people that will urge you to focus in your prayer. The Prophet doesn't say anything wrong, alayhi salatu wassalam. He said, remember your death. Or also another hadith, he said, صَلِّ صَلَاةَ مُوَدِّعٍ, perform such a prayer of one who is bidding the farewell of his life. Bidding the farewell of his life, thinking that he may not remain in this life to perform another prayer after it. Imagine if somebody told you, for example, that you have couples of minutes. Someone may, for example, wants to kill you. I'm giving, example. Someone said, I want to execute you, and you have minutes to live. Your wish is to pray? Perform your prayer. We allow you to perform your prayer. Think about that kind of prayer. How would it be performed? It will be performed in its best manners. So is the problem that you think there's something in your mind telling you that I'm not going to die now? My death is going to be after 5, 10, 20, 46 years? Is that what you claim in your mind? So if this is not, then you should perform the prayer in a way expecting that you may not be able to perform another one after that. Also another hadith, the Prophet said, اذكروا الموت في صلاتك, remember death in your prayer. فإن الرجل إذا ذكر الموت لحري أن يحسن صلاته. For if an individual, if a person remembers his death in his prayer, that will encourage him to perform, to enhance, to improve the performance of his prayer. One last thing. I remember a beautiful story that occurred with the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and his companions, narrated by Jabir bin Abdullah. He said, we went in a ghazwa. Ghazwa means, a battle that the Prophet participated with. He was leading it. It's called Dhatul Riqa'. When they were the Muslim army was taking its way, they had a clash with a non-Muslim army, and that caused the killing of a woman Now, usually, women should not be involved in any kind of killing. The Prophet used to be strictly giving orders never to kill a woman or a child, but how this happened, coincidentally, Allahu Alam. But this woman died, and her husband was absent. So when he came back and he got the news that she died, he swore that he'll be causing a bloodshed with the Muslim army. So he was chasing the Muslim army. The Prophet wanted to campaign at night to sleep. So two companions volunteered to be the guardian at night. One of them is the Muhajiri from among the immigrants' companions, and the other one is Ansari supporters from Medina. So they agreed on the shifting time of guarding. The Muhajiri slept at the beginning part of the night, and the Ansari to take the last part of the night. So as the Ansari, whose name was Abbad ibn Bishr, he was guarding, he said, it occurs to him to perform the prayer while he is, guarding. The night is so calm. So he started to perform the prayer. At that time, that man came, the husband of the dead wife, and he started to launch his arrows to attack this guardian. One arrow, another arrow, and the third arrow, until he made a sort of noise to the Muhajiri. He woke up and he realized this. He started to chase the man. And then he came back and asked this Ansari guardian, "What was the matter with you? I mean, why didn't you stop your prayer and you chased this person?" He said, "I was involved, busy in a chapter that I was reciting. I did not like to stop reciting it, until this person started to launch me with these arrows. I swear by Allah, had not I had fears that I may cause a chaos or a problem in the army, nothing will be stopping me from reciting this verse except death." It's very beautiful, and it shows how was the type of the companion's prayer. And by this beautiful kind of a prayer, we should remember here, we should stop here and remember, why don't we have the same thing? Many of the companions were preferring to keep on performing the whole night. They were very happy with it. It's something that we don't really taste, we don't really feel. We should try to do so. We should try to copy the way of our Prophet's prayer and his companions. I ask Allah the Almighty to make it easier and easier for us to struggle, to perform jihad in our prayer, so our prayer will be approved and accepted by Allah. And our prayer will be helping us to increase more, to have more iman and more fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I ask Allah to let us be successful. To be successful is to perform the prayer with khushu'. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah the Most High and Merciful says, "Invite to the way of your Lord with wisdom and fair preaching." Do you want to join Huda in calling to Allah? Do you want to spread the message like the prophets did? Do you want to share in the blessings and rewards? Why not support Huda towards these noble aims? Why not sponsor a program of your choice? If you would like to help Huda in spreading the correct message of Islam, please send an email to support@huda.tv or call +2 014 327 1771 for more details, or fax +2 023 8555 251.
يا الله اللهم قوّني على إقامة أمرك يا مولاي وأذقني حلاوة ذكرك واحفظني بحفظك يا الله. رمضان 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 أوله رحمة